Hi guys, and welcome once again to my wee channel in the Philippines, the land of barking dogs, crowing cockerels, noisy motorbikes, and karaoke that continues into the early hours of the morning. Or as they say here in the Philippines, it's more fun in the Philippines. But I wonder who coined that term or phrase. I wonder if it was an insomniac. Well, let's continue with today's story, but just before I start that story, I bumped into an old friend a couple of days ago in Ayala Mall here in Cebu Center. His name is Paul. He was a native New Yorker, but now he is a permanent resident in Cebu in the Philippines. So Paul told me his backstory, how he met his wife, and what happened well before he even left the United States. So he declined to give a face-to-face interview, which I understand, because many people don't want to face a camera. They wish to just remain in the background. But he gave me permission to tell his story, and which I will duly begin to do. So if you're sitting comfortably and you're interested in what happens here in the Philippines when you retire, or even if you retire early, then this is the channel for you. So let me begin by introducing where Paul first came from. He was born in New York. So I will title this A New Dawn for Paul. So let me begin. Paul had spent his life helping other people. As a counselor in New York, he had guided countless people through their darkest moments, offering wisdom and comfort. But when his own life unraveled, he found himself lost in a deep depression, a darkness that he couldn't escape. His marriage of 25 years had ended in a bitter divorce, filled with accusations and heartbreak. But just when he thought things couldn't get any worse, tragedy struck. His only son, Michael, died in a car accident. The pain was unbearable for Paul, for he was once the man who gave hope to others, but now found himself drowning in grief, loneliness, and despondency. Paul took early retirement, not because he wanted to, but because he had nothing left to give. He felt crushed. His once bustling Manhattan apartment felt like a prison, like a box. The city's noise a reminder of how empty his life had become. Every day coming back to that box, the lounge, watching the box which was a TV set. Maybe going out once in a while to the box on wheels, his car. And now and again he used to go to the gym, which was another box. But all these things added up because he wasn't receiving vitamin D from the sun, serotonin, endorphin stimulation from those happy chemicals that we get when we're in the sunshine. Because sometimes the winters in New York could be very cruel, but supplemented to that his present situation. So one evening, while staring at the flickering lights of the skyline, he made a decision. He needed to leave. Somewhere. Anywhere. He had heard about the Philippines from a client years ago. A country of warm people, beautiful beaches, and simple joys. He had also watched many YouTube channels about expats who had retired there and made a success of their lives. So on a whim, he booked a flight, packed a suitcase, and left New York far behind. A new world. When Paul stepped off the plane in Manila, he felt something he hadn't in years. Curiosity, a sense of awakening. The heat, the scent of the street food, the sound of laughter, the busy traffic. It was all so different from the cold indifference of New York. because the people smiled and they would engage him in conversation so that he didn't feel alone for once. He traveled to Cebu, then to Bohol, and finally, on the advice of a friendly taxi driver, he found himself in a small coastal town in Palawan. The turquoise waters, the lush green mountains, and the kindness of the people captivated him. He felt alive again. He could breathe. That feeling of being crushed started to dissipate. It was in that small town that he met her, Maria, a young, beautiful Filipina girl. She was a waitress in a seaside cafe, her smile as warm as the tropical sun. She was much younger than Paul, but she had an old soul, full of wisdom and kindness. They struck up conversations about life, about loss, about starting over again. Paul felt something stirring him again, something he thought was long gone. Was it love? Maria had grown up in a simple fishing village, yet she had dreams bigger than the ocean. She didn't care about money or status. She cared genuinely about people. And she saw something in Paul that he himself had forgotten: his capacity to love. They spent days exploring hidden beaches, sharing stories under the moonlight, and laughing over home-cooked meals. For the first time in years, Paul felt alive. Love rekindled. At first, he was hesitant. Could he love again? Could he open his heart after so much pain? But Maria was patient, never rushing him, always letting him take his time. She let him take the lead. She was feminine. He actually felt so happy that a woman would let him lead and that she would be feminine, an experience he hadn't had for a long time. One evening, as they watched the sunset paint the sky in shades of gold and crimson, Paul realized something. He was happy. Not just content, but truly, deeply happy. He told Maria how he felt, and she simply took his hand and whispered, "You deserve happiness, Paul." They married in a small ceremony by the sea, surrounded by her family and the friends he had made in the town. There were no grand decorations, no extravagant parties, just love, pure and simple. A new beginning. Paul never returned to New York. He built a home in Palawan, where he spent his days teaching English to the local kids, helping people in his community, and waking up beside the woman who had given him a second chance at love. He still thought about his past, the pain, the losses, the suffering, but they no longer defined him. He had found something greater: peace, love, and a reason to live. Under the endless Philippine sky, Paul realized that life had not ended when he thought it had. It had simply been waiting for him to start again. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, I hope you would share, thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel.